Hi guys, we are going to do lesson 1-6 together. Remember to write your lesson and your goal that I will use a chart to find a pattern and a missing information involving place value at the top of your page. This was the lesson that tricked every single person in our class on our pretest. And once we go over today, you're going to go, oh, that makes so much more sense. Okay, so make sure you pause to practice on your own and come with any questions for us tomorrow. So let's start by looking at a hundreds chart. Okay, you guys have seen these hundreds charts since you were littles. Okay, you know that your 1 comes 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Okay, you fill them in by ones going across. We also know that it increases by 10 as we go down every single time that we see a hundreds chart. Right? This is not new information. So we're going to take what we know from a hundreds chart and apply it to a decimal chart, and it's going to work the exact same way. So I've started one for us here. Okay, and notice that I started at 0 because we know a decimal isn't a whole number yet. Okay, a decimal isn't a whole number yet. So right here, I have 1 100th, 2 100th, 3 100th, 400th, 500th, 600th, 700th, 800th, 900th, and finally at 1/10. Okay. Remember, this whole piece is split into 100 pieces. So we don't have a whole until the entire chart have all 100 pieces to just make one whole number. So this decimal chart pattern right here is increasing by 1 100th every time that we move to the right. Check out how it's increasing as we go down. What do you notice? You probably realize that it's increasing by 1/10 each time. And if I were to keep filling, this would be 12 hundredths, 13 hundredths, 14 hundredths, all the way to 2/10 or 20 hundredths. If I wanted to add my 0 there, I know that's the same value, 20 hundredths or 2/10. So decimal place value increases by 1 100th as we move to the right and increases by 1/10 as we move down. If I were to pick this column here of my 7 hundredths, and I know that it increases by 1/10 each time, I would know this is 1 1/10 and 7 hundredths, or 17 hundredths, 27 hundredths, 37 hundredths, all the way down to 75 or 77 hundredths, 97 hundredths. I could keep going until all the way that I get to one whole. Okay, it's pretty simple. It works just like the hundreds chart that we're used to using. But then it starts tricking us, and it doesn't give us all of those. So let's just look here. What do you notice about this pattern? Practice filling these in yourself. See if you can fill these in. I'm sure you realize that this is just a smaller one of the page before. I'm increasing by 1 100th, another 1 100th to get to 2 hundredths, 3 hundredths. This column, it actually is helpful to me because it has 2 here. So I could check to make sure that it's following the pattern that I think. 1 100th across, 1/10 down. So I see that this is 2 hundredths, 1 more tenth, 2 more tenths, 3 more tenths. Great, that matches up with my pattern. Okay, so I could keep filling these in. I see here this is 15 hundredths, 16 hundredths, 17, 18, 20 hundredths or 2/10. And that pattern is going to keep going. It makes sense when we are following with all of the spaces here for us. Then we see problems that look like this. Oh, it's gotten rid of all of those other squares for me. But I continue using the same pattern. So 55 hundredths. What is the next hundredth? Well, 56 hundredths. Okay, if I'm thinking now I'm going down, ooh, that increases by 1/10. So 55 hundredths plus 1 more tenth would be 65. These boxes tell us what it actually wants us to fill in, but I want to look at what's missing to be able to figure out my pattern. So if I'm going up by 1/10ths as we go down and 1/100ths as we go across, I can easily fill these in. Well, this one is 65 hundredths, so this would be 66. This one is skipping, but I'm over here. Okay, I'm getting bigger by 1/10, so that would be 75 hundredths. I'm skipping 85 hundredths. I could go on and write it there if I wanted to. This would be 95 hundredths. I know that it's 85 hundredths here, so I can use that to help me write next door. The very next hundredth is 86 hundredths. All right, I can do the same thing here, but now it's asking me to work backwards. What hundredth comes before 14 hundredths? Pause the video now and see if you can figure out number 5. I know that 1/100th less would be 13 hundredths and 12 hundredths. I also know that it increases by 1/10 when we go down. 24 hundredths and 34 hundredths. Pause the video now and see if you can figure out number 6. I know that as I move left to right, it increases by hundredths, so I will fill these in. And as I move up and down, it's increasing or decreasing by tenths. Oops, that should be an 8. Let me erase that one. I made a mistake, so I want to erase that. I know that I'm getting smaller, so it wouldn't be 8/10ths anymore. It would be 7/10ths, so 78 hundredths, or 68 hundredths. Again, I'm following that pattern. Okay, when you do this on your own, you want to be looking for what is the pattern. It might not always be ones, but it will give you enough information to tell you. So we'll practice tomorrow on some more challenging ones. So remember, when we're looking at decimal place value patterns, right, it's exactly like our hundreds chart, except it's moving by hundredths or tenths. Good job practicing tonight. Come with your questions for tomorrow, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye.